Picture this. You're leading a project at work, a big one, the kind that can define careers. You've got your team, your resources, and your plan. Everything seems to be going smoothly until, out of nowhere, roadblocks appear. Suddenly, a key team member resigns. Your budget gets slashed in half. A global pandemic disrupts your supply chain. You're faced with a problem, a big, ugly, career-defining problem. Now, problems at work are like potholes on the road. They're inconvenient, they slow you down, and if you're not careful, they can cause serious damage. But unlike potholes, you can't just swerve around them. No, work problems demand to be solved. And if you can't solve them efficiently and effectively, you're in for a world of trouble. Let's consider the consequences. Projects get delayed, costing the company time and money, your team's morale takes a hit, and productivity plummets. You start to lose sleep, your stress levels go through the roof, and your once promising career starts to look a little less shiny. And it's not just you. In a recent survey, over 70% of employees cited problem solving as a critical skill in the workplace, yet less than half felt they were good at it. That's a lot of unsolved problems causing a lot of unnecessary stress. So, what's the solution? How do we navigate these roadblocks, these potholes, these career-defining problems? Is there a roadmap, a guide, or a strategy that can help us navigate through the unpredictable terrain of work problems? Does this sound familiar? Now imagine if there was a strategy to tackle these problems head-on. Welcome to the world of problem solving, a systematic approach that can turn your challenges into opportunities. In this realm, we use a unique tool known as the 7-step problem-solving process. It's like a roadmap that guides us step by step through the maze of challenges and decisions. Imagine you're at the entrance of a labyrinth. Without a guide, you might wander aimlessly, bumping into dead ends and retracing your steps. But with this 7-step process, you've got a clear path that leads you straight to the center, to the heart of your problem and its solution. This process isn't some cryptic secret. It's a structured method that's been used in business, education, healthcare, and plenty of other fields to address challenges and make informed decisions. It's a universal tool, applicable to just about any problem you can think of, from deciding what to have for dinner to launching a spaceship. Ready to dive into these steps? Step 1 is to identify the problem. Now, this might sound straightforward, but it's often the trickiest part of the process. You see, it's easy to mistake symptoms for the problem itself. For instance, if your car won't start, the problem isn't that the car won't start. That's a symptom. The problem could be anything from a dead battery to a faulty ignition switch. So how do you identify the real problem? First, you need to separate the symptoms from the problem. Look beyond the obvious. Ask yourself, what's really going on here? Then you need to define the problem clearly and precisely. Be specific. Instead of saying, my car won't start, say, my car won't start because the battery is dead. Why is this important? Because a well-defined problem points you in the direction of the solution. It narrows down your options and helps you focus on the right things. So take your time with this step. Dig deep. Be thorough. Don't rush. Remember, a well-defined problem often contains its own solution. Once you've identified the problem, it's time to analyze it. Analysis isn't about jumping to conclusions, it's about gathering information. Information is your compass in the wilderness of uncertainty. It lights up the path towards understanding. So dig deep, research, ask questions, and leave no stone unturned. Next, we identify possible causes. Think of it as a detective story where you're the sleuth. Each cause is a suspect, and you're trying to find out who's guilty. This isn't about assigning blame, but about understanding the underlying factors that led to the problem. Finally, understand the problem's background. What is its history? Has it occurred before? And if so, how was it handled? The past isn't just history, it's a treasure trove of lessons that can guide us in the present. Remember, analysis isn't just about breaking a problem down, it's about understanding it from all angles, so you can approach it with a strategy. Not just a guess, analysis is the key to unlocking the solution. With a clear understanding of the problem, we can now develop and select solutions. Imagine for a moment you're an artist with a blank canvas in front of you. The problem you've identified and analyzed is your muse, and it's time to get creative. The process of developing solutions is akin to brainstorming, where no idea is too wild or too outlandish. It's about letting your mind roam free. generating as many possible solutions as you can. You might be thinking, but how do I come up with these solutions? Well, it's all about asking the right questions. Questions like, what if we tried this, or could this work? Or even, what's the most outlandish solution I can think of? The answers to these questions are your potential solutions. Now, once you've got a list of potential solutions, it's time to put on your critical thinking cap. You need to evaluate the feasibility of each solution. Ask yourself, is this solution practical? Do we have the resources to implement it? What could be the potential challenges and how can we overcome them? Remember, not all solutions are created equal. Some might be more effective than others, some might be easier to implement, and some might be more resource intensive. The key is to weigh the pros and cons of each solution and then select the most effective one. But how do you determine the effectiveness of a solution? Well, it's about considering the potential impact of the solution on the problem. Will it solve the problem completely, or will it only address a part of it? Will it prevent the problem from recurring in the future? These are the questions you need to ask to select the most effective solution. And there you have it. You've brainstormed a plethora of solutions, evaluated their feasibility, and selected the most effective one. But remember, the process doesn't stop here. You need to implement the solution, review its effectiveness, and learn from the experience. Choosing the right solution can turn your problem into a stepping stone. So, let's leap forward and transform our problems into opportunities. The final steps involve implementing the solution, reviewing its effectiveness, and learning from the experience. Now that you've developed and selected your solution, it's time to put it into action. Implementing the solution isn't always as simple as flipping a switch. It requires careful planning and execution. You may need to gather resources, assemble a team, or create a detailed action plan. But the most important part is to start. Remember, a solution is nothing without implementation. Once the solution is in motion, it's important not to sit back and relax. This is where review comes into play. You need to monitor the progress of your solution, checking whether it's leading to the desired outcome. Are there any unforeseen consequences? Is it yielding the results you predicted? If not, don't be afraid to adjust your approach. Flexibility is key in effective problem solving, but your journey doesn't end with implementation and review. The final step, and perhaps one of the most crucial, is learning from the solution. Every problem you face, every solution you implement is an opportunity for growth. Reflect on what worked, what didn't, and why. This isn't about assigning blame or celebrating success, it's about understanding the process and improving for the future. This cycle of implementing, reviewing, and learning is not a one-time process. It's ongoing, evolving with each new problem and solution. It's about making better decisions, improving your processes, and becoming more effective in your problem solving. So as you embark on your problem solving journey, remember these final steps. Implement with care, review with an open mind, and learn with a willingness to grow. And when you face your next problem, you'll be better equipped to handle it. Remember, every problem is a new lesson. So we've walked through the 7 steps of problem solving. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey. First, we identified the problem, our starting point. Next, we analyzed it, understanding its roots and impacts. Then we moved on to developing and selecting solutions, brainstorming and choosing the best course of action. And finally, we implemented, reviewed, and learned from the solution. These aren't just steps, they're a roadmap, guiding us from confusion to clarity, from challenge to triumph. They empower us to tackle any hurdle, personal or professional, and turn it into a stepping stone for success. Mastering these steps isn't about simply fixing what's broken. It's about understanding, learning, and growing. It's about turning problems into potential stumbling blocks into stepping stones. With these steps, you're not just solving problems, you're transforming them into opportunities.